All right, so today I want to talk about something that doesn't really have a lot to do with neural networks, and really not even with computer science, but just something that is of personal interest of mine, and I think will provide you useful information. So this is based on a talk I originally gave when I was working at Google, I don't know, 10 years ago or something, called Optimizing Your Financial Life. And the purpose of this is really to look at various aspects of finances and money. And it's going to be particularly relevant to you because it turns out you're likely to make a fair amount of money as computer scientists and or software engineers. So what I want to talk about first is something called FI. That is financial independence. What would that even mean? Anyone?
Oh, like earn enough money so that you can like live independently and still enjoy quality life.
Earn enough money so you can live independently. I think that makes sense. Let's just talk about that earning independently. So let's call that something like passive income. Okay? So passive income, and what we're trying to say is this is greater than or equal to, I suppose, your expenses. Where passive income, give me some examples of passive income.
Is that along the lines of income from stock portfolios?
Okay, so stock portfolios. So that would be, there are two possibilities there, right? We could either have dividends or we could have capital gains. So dividends in the sense that you own a stock and it's paying out so much per year, or capital gains in the case of selling things. How else can you kind of make money passively?
Owning property.
Owning property, so that'd probably be rent. You might have royalties, I guess. That'd be some things like if you, let's see, do songwriting. Probably not our kind of thing, certainly not my kind of thing, but maybe books, something like that. YouTube, possibly. So if you had advertising income coming off of YouTube. Part of something like YouTube or books, though, is books royalties kind of decay over time. Eventually, people stop buying your books, usually. YouTube, there's the same potential problem. This is the big four that I would put there. You could also just own a business, let's say, a business that you're not working in, that you just own and you have some manager that manages. So if your passive income is greater than your expenses, we would call that financial independence. And we'll talk a little more about like what you kind of need to get this and so on and how long it takes. But let's just talk now about perhaps some of the benefits of financial independence. So this is sometimes also called FU money. I never can figure out what the FU stand for, but I'm sure it means something. So the idea is freedom. Really, that's what this is. So financial independence provides freedom. Freedom to what?
Live where you want to and potentially have hobbies or do things that are unrelated to work that you want to.
Okay. Live where you want. I think part of that you're also saying is you could also stop working, right? That's a possibility. You could temporarily stop working. Temporarily stop working. And there are a lot of reasons you might want to do that. Maybe you want to take a year sabbatical to go and, travel the world, with you, or maybe you have a family at that point. Maybe you are ill and need to take off 6 months. Maybe you're taking care of a family member that's ill. Anything like that, right? There are possibilities of why you might want to temporarily stop working. Maybe you want to, work for the Peace Corps, who, as far as I know, don't pay very much, right? Maybe you just want to be free at work. So there are situations that sometimes come up where you are asked to do something at work that you don't want to do. Maybe it is working more hours than you want to. Maybe it's you believe you're being asked to do something unethical. Well, if you're dependent on that paycheck month after month, in order to pay your expenses, you don't have a lot of, let's say, kind of negotiating room or wiggle room. Whereas if you're financially independent, it's easy to say, no, I won't do this thing that I believe is unethical, right? Because worst that happens, they fire you, right? But that's okay. So these are some ideas of the freedom kind of that having FU money gives you. It gives you a large cushion in case of problems that happen in life because you've got enough money to deal with it. Any questions on this? All other things being equal, would you rather be financially independent or not? So just give me a vote. How many people would rather be financially independent? Because all other things being equal, why wouldn't you for most people, right? Unfortunately, you do have to give up something, right? Because you've got to spend less than you earn in order to make this happen. And a yes, of course, it is kind of an of course thing. What would you need in order to get this passive income?